welcome everybody, welcome. This is a good reading to understand what's happening. Emotions do switch, obviously they do, back and forth and all that. But this is a very interesting reading that I'm going to impose. Now, if you have problems, if if you are into this way of how you have, oh, let me try to explain. Let's say, for example, all my viewers have disabilities, for example. Disabilities and caregivers are very different, right? Disabilities are very different where they can't explain things, they need lots of help with it, they need lots of stuff that's going on, okay? Now I'm saying it to all my viewers, okay? Just hear me out for a bit. Now you know that now there's a story behind it. Now we know that there is something wrong to every part of a situation. Okay. Now you have a caregiver. Caregivers are very kind of interesting where yes they help you, yes they can understand what your feelings are or if you need help with or they're just joking around. That's how it is. But when things go sideways, you know, I have been there, I have done that, where sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm very upsetting, I'm kind of having this emotional switch where it's ES stands for emotion switch, and I've been trying to have, sometimes I have depression, sometimes I have anxiety, sometimes I'm not happy with myself, because there's lots of going on that I have emotionally. Okay, I get emotions a lot. I don't know what to do. I in this situation where there's lots of stuff that's happening. Okay, and when I make the YouTube video like this, I'm trying to get to a point across, right? It happens when things go sideways. I always say that because and I always say this, I can't do it anymore. It it happens for a way of how it is. Okay, I know for the way of how I can understand what's happening. I understand what's going on, but there's a way of how it is. Now, I'm going to make a story. Now, this story could be maybe happy, sad, maybe it might make you laugh, maybe it not. But you could feel how it is. And if you are a disability out there and you want to like my channel or give it a comment or whatever, and you like this some sort of story, please, please, I beg of you, like try to comment it and give it a like or subscribe to my channel, right? And if you subscribe, you would have notifications and then you would know that I'm live on my channel or whatever, okay? But anyway, back to my own story here. I'm trying to decide that when I think about between a caregiver and a disability person, they are different. They're opposites, right? And opposites are between the truth and not so about the truth, right? It happens, right? Everyone has their own mistakes, everyone has their own abilities, everyone has emotions, everyone has everything. But when you do realize there's something going on, then you have to know, right? You have to know what's happening, okay? Now, I will be doing the Bible situation with these cards over here that you're going to see. I'm doing the annual oracle. I have the Moonology card that you will see eventually. So I'll show you with this as well. And then I have the playing cards that you will see over here. So I'll do that as well. Then I have the other tarot situation. I have this tarot situation. So yeah, there's gonna be lots going on. So this is a long video. It's gonna be long, but eventually this is how it seems to be because it happens, right? It happens to understand what's going on and who's doing this, right? And it happens, okay? So I know for a fact that, you guys probably like my reading about this, and I think it would be imposed about that situation. But that's how it seems to be. I enjoy myself watching because I like to watch my own videos. I know it's so funny because when I have my TV in my room, I watch my videos, and then it's so funny that, oh my god, I see myself on television. It's funny, really, it's funny. So it's that simple that how it goes. Um, but you got to let's face it, right? From here on in, we always know what's happening, and that's how it is, right? I'm not gonna tell you that this is a long video, but if it is, it is because I'm taking my time to shuffle every single card, and this is how to be true. But it's simple as that because we always have to have that phrase, that ability, that acknowledge. Um, it's simple as that. Okay, so I think my own possibilities where things go from a different outcome, and we always like to acknowledge that as well. So we always have that phase. We always that way of how it is. I'm not gonna say it's the no, no, but it's that simple way of how it is. So you can understand how it goes. You can understand how it seems to be. Acknowledge the way of how it is. Acknowledge of how it seems to be in that way of knowing the way of how the outcome is, the way how you can believe in what's happening, um, understand about that because you have to understand what's going on between every single sign out there. If it's a zodiac sign, if it's anything, okay? And I believe my own way, my own physical outcome, that yes, it's kind of hard for me to understand, but it's simple as that. Okay, we're going to look at this card too, but we haven't seen what this card is, but that'll be in the video as well. So, this is how it seems to be. I know for a fact that we get to acknowledge, we get to know what's happening between uh the caregiver side or the disability person side, whatever, right? And I know that I don't know why I would say disability, but I'm gonna say a different a person that needs help, you know. So that can be suitable for this reading as well, but it's simple. Now I think my own way that there's a possible outcome of who's doing this and who's doing this as well. So we're going to figure out between the cards and what's happening. So first off, we're going to look at the animal cards first. First, I'm going to do my last shuffle of my playing cards first. So we're going to look at those, and then we're going to go through the Bible situation. I'm going to read you a bit of the Bible, and then after that, then we're going to do uh, basically the playing cards, or kind of like that, but in a way. Then we're going to do tarot and everything else. So I'm going to create this big entire story, and it's going to be once upon a time. And yeah, so give it a like, give it a comment, and I hope that you guys will enjoy this reading as well. So hope so, and this is how it seems to be. So we're going to look at this from the playing cards because they do act. Cups is represent water signs. Diamonds represents earth signs. Clubs represent fire signs, and spades represents air signs. So we're going to look at those. That's how it is, okay? And then we have the moonology too. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Whoops. Yeah, so we're going to look at that as well. So let's see who's behind all this, but we're going to see this. This reading can fit all of you, but it's simple, right? So I hope that this reading will be interesting in that situation for you. All right, let's start the reading, shall we? All right. So let's look at the left side, look at the right side. Left side, the turtle. Take your time. All right, so we always take our time, right? We always focus on the ability of that done, right? We're going to take our time. On the right side, we have the eagle. Do the right thing. Exactly. I did say that in my video today. So do the right thing, yes. So do the right thing about apologizing. But see, this is how it is. That's just a little secret there. A little tip there. But this is how it is, okay? So now we're going to figure this out. We're going to figure out, take your time, do the right thing. So we're going to do that. Now we're going to look at this card. Let's see. We have, according to your faith, be it until you, Matthew 9:29. So we're going to look at that in the Bible situation. Have your Bible ready so we can read together. Matthew 9:29. Okay. So let's see here. So Matthew 9:29. So this is going to be a focus about this ability. Um, it happens to all of us. Now, Matthew 22:9. Let's see here. Okay, so I'll read Jesus heals the blind and the mute. So I'll read this a little bit. It says, as Jesus went on from there, two blind men followed him, calling out, have mercy on us, son of David. When he has gone indoors, the blind men came to him, and he asked them, do you believe that I'm able to do this? Yes, Lord, they replied. When he touched their eyes and said, according to your faith, let it be done to you. And their sight was restored. Jesus warned them sternly, see that no one knows about this. But they went out and spread the news about him all over that region. While they were going out, a man who was demon possessed and could not talk was brought to Jesus, and when when the demon was driven out, the man who had been mute spoke. The crowd was amazed and said, "Nothing like this has ever been seen in Israel." But the Pharisees said, "It is by the prince of demons that he drives out demons." So that's how it seems to be for that one. Um, Now, there could be more than this. Like, there could be, uh, oh, let's see. This is the way of how it is, right? They're explaining about what's happening, okay? Because, we always identify of how it is, okay? When you're being muted, when you are not happening in your own life, and you're feeling all, you know, very, very interesting of how it goes. You have to believe about how it is. Now, I understand my own feelings where, yes, we do this as a matter of fact, but it's the way of how we can conquest of our own abilities of climbing that mountain and getting up, right? Now, there are times where we have this ability where if we are if people who are like me that are disabilities, we are different. We are different from all different people, right? We need lots of help. We need lots of things to do that we need to do, and then we have caregivers that would help us through our own experiences, like emotions and everything else, right? And in our basic needs. But when I talk about the Bible in this situation, Jesus heals the blind and the mute. You know, when you're being muted, you can't say anything. You're all quiet. You have that silent treatment, right? And you have that silent treatment where you have no one to talk to, right? The doors are shut. You can't talk. You're starting to, take your time with your emotions, do the right thing. You have to impose that situation where, yes, there are ways where you can consider the following. Okay. Now, I make sure to understand that when there is something that's wrong to this system, this way of how it goes, I think that in my own mind, where when a caregiver and a person who has ability, if it's caused by emotions, is it caused by anything that you can think of, it's basically different. You know, I think my own standards where you have to look at from your own point of view, right? Because if you get all sad, or if you're not happy, or if you're not thinking right, or there's something that isn't working, and you have to go with the flow, right? Now, it kind of is very upsetting. It's kind of very restrict, whatever it is. But you have to remember that you have to believe about what your emotions are, right? Rather than blaming it, or you did something wrong that you shouldn't have, or that's how it is. But anyway, let's get back to this story here. So, in the Bible, that's what it says, right? Because, if you're feeling happy, you're going to feel all healed. If you're not feeling happy, you're not healed. So you have that swing of emotions from happy, bad, sad, angry, uh, sad, anything else, right? You have to understand about that. So let's continue. So now we are going to figure out what this card is. Ah, caregiver. We are we are with you. Spirit has its own way of recognizing the care and love you provide to others, especially at the end of their lives, just as you receive care and love at the start of your life. Caregivers often focus all their attention on their loved ones, often neglect their own concerns or well-being in the process. Exactly. That's how it is. So we're going to respond about the caregiver. Okay. Now, in this story, we have the caregiver. Okay. Now we're going to figure out who's is on the left side, who's on the right side. Now we have this way. Okay. Now, while I'm going to put these cards into a different way, because you're going to see them later, I'll put the caregiver on this side, and I'll put Matthew on this side. Okay. Now let's pretend Matthew has a disability, a different ability, and the caregiver has to help that. Now let's say this person was in a wheelchair. Let's say about that. Now you have to know saying, okay, this is not very enticing. This is not no. But we're going to look at the moon analogy cards because we're going to look at that too. We're going to look at that way and we're going to look at that way. Ready? So let's start off. So the caregiver is being full moon in Pisces, forgive, right? So for caregiver, it's forgive. So this is Pisces. Okay? So Pisces is the caregiver because it's caregiver is that is at the bottom of this card. This one, Matthew, new moon in Taurus, know your worth. So this is Matthew in the Taurus situation. Okay, so we have that situation. But I'm telling you this as a story here. Okay. Now, as a matter of fact, because we have to know about take your time and do the right thing, you have to understand what's going on in this situation. Now, we are going to impose that this is a good situation to acknowledge of about the playing cards. Now the playing cards do act what I said, right? So let's see what they have. On the left side you have the Jack of Spades that represents air signs is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And on the right side you have the Two of Spades, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Okay? So we have air signs that are in spades. One on the left side, one on the right side. And this is how it seems to be, okay? So now we're going to impose this situation where we're going to figure this out in the tarot situation. We're going to look at the three cards. The first card we have Four Pentacles, that represents Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. We have the Star, that's reversed. Okay, that's interesting. And we have the right side, we have the King of Pentacles reversed. Okay, so basically there's something behind this picture. So now we know, okay, well, there's something wrong to this picture. Yes, it is. Because the star is that you're not wishing upon something. The King of Pentacles, you're not the king anymore. Like you don't have any money or something like that. Something like that. We're going to look at what's the opposite of these two cards here. And we have the Knight of Earth is loyal, dedicated, honorable, kind. Time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments. A guardian angel. Okay, so that represents Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. And this one over here on the right side, you have the Three of Earth. The power of creativity, recognition for very high quality work. Be a team player. Exactly. That represents Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. So in that situation is where this is how it is, okay? So the caregiver is Pisces and Matthew is the Taurus, okay? So they're both gonna, this is a good story right here. This is a good story baseline. So there was a time, so I'm gonna say this. Once upon a time, there was an individual, and Matthew had autism. He's in a wheelchair and he needs help. The caregiver, Pisces, was trying to ask Matthew if he needed help with the wheelchair. Matthew asked, "Can you help me with the wheelchair?" Pisces said, "Why? Can you help me push it?" Matthew explained, "Oh, sure, I'll help you with the wheelchair." Pisces. So Pisces explained to Taurus as Matthew in a wheelchair. Now they kept going, they kept going, they kept talking away. All of a sudden, Matthew's emotions were take his time. And all of a sudden, he didn't know what to do. And his emotions were flippity flopped. And all of a sudden, he was alone. Pisces was not capable to help him anymore. Pisces was being rude. Pisces was being agitated. Pisces was being reflected, irresponsible, naive. So now in this continuing story here, you have to be a team player to help that person out, whether you have a disability or whether you don't have a disability. Everyone is different, everyone's unique, right? So now it's going back and forth. Matthew explained, "Oh yeah, sure, I have a disability." Caregiver said, "What's your disability?" "I have autism." Caregiver, Pisces, "Yeah, sure, I'll help you with your autism." Now, with the wheelchair situation, where I'm puzzling with this, my brain, he's all alone. The caregiver did not help him as much, and the caregiver is too exhausted, and the caregiver left Matthew. Now, this is a saddening story. It is a saddening story. I'm just making this up, but if it's true, if it's very true to all of you, you have to understand that it's hard because you have to acknowledge, you have to have some sort of creativity of what's happening. It's the way of how you can progress, the way of how you can manifest your own beliefs and your own abilities, your own actions, your own ways of how can you do that, right? You have to acknowledge that ability of knowing from right to wrong, whether you're leaving that someone behind because you're feeling that you're exhausted. Oh, that doesn't make any sense. But it's saddening about leaving that person alone in a wheelchair, right? It makes you want to tear up and cry. Because this is what this story is, okay? Because when you reflect onto a caregiver, onto a different way, it's simple. Because what I'm saying is, Well, you know about this card here. It represents about what the caregiver is. It helps, right? Caregivers do help with each other as long as they need to. But now I'll read a story. I'll read about the caregiver. It's also my voice there. So caregiver is a long, long way, long it is. So I just read you half of this during today. But there's other half it says, you have chosen this card in all likelihood because you probably already are or have been in a caretaker role, or you will surely start caring for someone you love. This card is timely reminder to ensure you don't forget yourself in the process. No matter what type of a care is being given, whether it is emotional support or more hands-on, it is easy to let all your energy dissipate, leaving you feeling drained, disinterested, or at times feeling down. Remember that we are all made up of energy. That energy is very precious, delicate, needs to be preserved and honored. Take time for yourself. Nurture yourself with self-care. Self, such a, a such a massage, meditation, or walks in nature. Allowing your body, mind, and spirit to open and absorb positive and healthy energy so that when you have to return to care mode, you feel healthy, strong, and re- revitalized. So it means that a caregiver will help you as long as you need, right? It happens. And yes, the truth hurts where, yes, you can't always win, but you have to figure this out in one way or another where you have a system where you can acknowledge about what's happening through your own mind, your own experience, and you know from the right and the wrong. It happens because when I think about this, I think, okay, well, everything is up to my own situation, my words, my ways of how you can control. Yes, it is, but you have to face that ability. You have to face where you can acknowledge where, okay, well, it's the right and wrong sector. It's that ability, and you have that way. Now, what's the opposites of these cards over here at the bottom? Ah, we have the King of Earth is upright. We have the Nine of Earth is upright. We have the Nine of Fire is upright. We have the Three of Fire is upright. Yeah, I'll take these cards here. So basically, the Three of Fire is abundance. Things look very good. Have patience at this time. Make long-term plans. You have that ability. You have, you have the Nine of Fire, passionate, adventurous, self-absorbed, restless, a sudden event that needs immediate attention. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. Exactly. Nine of Earth. Enjoy life's little luxury, spending quiet time alone. Successful self-employment. Exactly. And last one, you have the King of Earth is generous, professional, responsible, practical. A successful time, confidently accept opportunities you are offered, the Midas touch. Yeah. See, it's very significant on how that reading goes. It's the matter of how the essence goes between, the life sentence of the caregiver, life sentence of what I just said about the Matthew and the caregiver of Pisces. Those are two opposites, but I'm just doing it as a very good reading here. Here. So this is how it is. And at the bottom of this, you have the Page of Pentacles is upright, you have the Fool that's upright. So I'll put these cards here that you will see in a minute. You have the Sun card that still represents Leo, as a fire sign. So you have that phase where you get what you want. You get that priority where you decide what you're looking for. It's that simple where you can understand of what's happening through your odds and ends and what have yous. But that's how it seems to be through the whole entire dynamic is where you have to apologize or you did something wrong that you shouldn't have. Don't leave that person in a wheelchair because you're too exhausted or whatever. It's a bad excuse right there. It's a bad excuse. And I'm doing it as a matter of fact of this whole entire reading. It's as simple as that. And you have to know by that simple because if you do the right thing, if you take your time, you know exactly what you're going to do. Because if I look at take your time is the turtle, that's you're taking your time as your emotions. Do the right thing, you can apologize for what you did. You did something that you shouldn't have, and life goes on from there. At the bottom of this deck here, you have the cougar is you can do it. Cooperate with others. Use your imagination. I'll put these cards in as well because in that aspect, you know, you can do something rather than just have a negative impact. And you have to know from the abilities of who you're going to expect with. It's that simple. It's that caregiving, and it's the simple way of how it is. Now, I want to know what's the bottom of this card here. Ah, so you have the new moon in Aquarius open up to change. Okay, so you know, uh, so I'll put that here. Um, this one is new moon in Aries is go for it. Exactly. I'm going to put it over here, and we're going to do the last one. Last core moon in Taurus. Be proud of yourself. That's a good one too. So you have that ability where you get the life purpose and understand, and I'll do one more as well. Um, First core moon in Aquarius, trust the universe. You have to trust that. You have to trust your abilities where you get that own uh, that own way of how you can do that, the own way of how you can progress and progress and progress, and it's the simple way of how you could do that. It's the way of how you can understand how you can act your own emotions rather than just have no emotions at all. I don't know why, but you know what I'm saying. It's you have your own way of your own ability where yes, the caregiver helps you and everything else because, one day, it will be hard without a caregiver. It will be hard with um, doing lots of stuff by yourself, you know. Um, so, it's that simple where I'm just trying to do that ability of, Pisces was being the caregiver and Taurus was being Matthew, you know, I'm just doing it as that way of that story is because I think in my own standards, I think that this is a wonderful story to tell, and I hope that this will be good for you, all of you. Remember to give it a like, give it a comment. Please give it, all the best, and understand how the story is. So I hope that you guys will enjoy this video. I hope that you guys will enjoy it. Please give it a like. Please give it a comment. Subscribe to my channel, as in Zoe Alex, and enjoy about that. And yeah, so I hope that this reading helps you. I hope that'll be okay. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful time. Thank you, and have a good day to you all. Bye for now. Really, bye.